What if manipulation never began with lies, but with questions that made you distrust your own mind? Not force, not pressure, not even anger. Just questions, carefully placed, calmly delivered. And suddenly, you are the one explaining yourself, defending yourself, doubting yourself. Friedrich Nietzsche saw this long before modern psychology did. He understood that power is not always taken. Sometimes it is surrendered. And number 4, that is the question that quietly rewrites your reality while you think you're just being reasonable. Stay until the end. You remember the moment. The conversation felt normal at first. Then something shifted. You began explaining things you never questioned before, apologizing for things you didn't fully understand, feeling guilty without clear reason. And afterward, you sat alone, replaying every word. Was I too sensitive? Did I overreact? Was it actually my fault? This question is never spoken aloud, but it lives in the silence after every conversation. And the more you tried to fix it, the less certain you became. And if this has ever happened to you, you are not naive. You have just discovered a truth that Nietzsche understood more than a century ago, and it is uncomfortable. Friedrich Nietzsche was a philosopher who studied power, not in kings or armies, but in the human mind. He understood something most people still avoid, that power can be inverted. What he called the will to power was not always about domination. Sometimes it was about reshaping how you see yourself. And when someone controls your perception, they control your decisions. Modern psychology confirms this. The human brain will choose doubt over conflict, even if that doubt destroys its own clarity. Psychologically, your brain is wired to preserve relationships, even at the cost of truth. So when someone introduces confusion instead of clarity, your mind turns inward. It searches for error within you instead of examining what was said to you. And that is where manipulation lives, not in what they tell you, but in what you begin to tell yourself. It is not about convincing you they're right. It is about making you unsure that you are. 1. The question that sounds innocent. It begins gently, almost harmless. Are you sure that's what happened? Nietzsche understood that perception is power, and once your certainty fades, you start negotiating with your own truth. 2. The shift from facts to feelings. Facts disappear, emotion becomes the battlefield. You're too sensitive. You always overthink. 3. The invisible guilt. Their actions, your guilt. You apologize. You adjust. You shrink. 4. The question that rewrites reality. What if you're remembering it wrong? Once you doubt your perception, you control yourself. 5. The final silence. You stop speaking, not because you have nothing to say, but because you no longer trust what you know. There was someone who always needed to explain themselves. Then something became clear. It was never about explaining better. It was about seeing clearly. They stopped defending. They started observing. and everything changed. So what do you do? Protect your perception. Return to facts. Refuse unnecessary defense. Maintain calm authority. Stop justifying. Your silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. But there is one more thing. The strongest mind is not the one that argues best. It is the one that cannot be made to doubt itself without reason. You are not too sensitive. You are too aware. My friends, clarity does not argue. It stands. As Nietzsche might have said, your mission is not to make others comfortable with your truth. Your mission is to become fully, unapologetically yourself. And that will always disturb those who never dared to try. Remember this, my friends. It was never about their words. It was about your doubt. Clarity is power. Because one day you will look back and realize the confusion was never yours. And that is when everything changes. If you want more videos on human psychology, the philosophy of Nietzsche, and personal power, subscribe to Ancient Soul Philosophy. Because understanding the human soul means taking back control of your life.